Hey everybody, it's Krista. Happy to see you guys. I've had some internet problems today, so fingers crossed I'll be able to go the whole time without any problems. But this is very important because I get asked all the time, where do you find clients? How do I find clients? And my specialty is that I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years and I work um, with new entrepreneurs who usually come from a corporate background and have expertise, but are just getting started in terms of going out there and finding clients. So, of course, they wouldn't know because they don't have a sales background, right? And even if you do have a sales background, I've actually worked with somebody with a sales background. And believe me, it's not so straightforward either because you have to have different methods. And in sales, a lot of times it's a different type of sales, right? It's corporate sales, there's very specific steps. Whereas when you're working on your own as a solopreneur or a small business owner, you have to learn new tactics, right? So today we're going to talk quickly about a couple of the tactics that are common. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you which one I like. But I'd love to hear also in the comments what you guys like in terms of your selling methods. But I definitely want to give as much tips as possible because people seem to really, really need this. And I hope that people will take some value out of this today, and you guys can use some of these tactics, or at least maybe you'll discover something that you haven't thought of before. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is talk about inbound marketing. And inbound marketing is where you build your brand online with a primary media channel that you commit to posting on regularly. And the three types of media channels that we talk about are audio, visual, and written. So the audio one would be to start a podcast in your niche. The second one would be to start a YouTube channel. And the third one would be to start a blog. There's no right or wrong answer, but one thing I can promise you is that you have to have a strategy. It's going to be a lot of work, so you have to do it right. And you also have to be very consistent with it. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Kristen. Thanks for stopping by. Hi, honey. So you have to be consistent with these channels, and it is a long game. And you have to know what you're doing, because what is the goal of these media channels? You can post like crazy every day and still not see any sales coming in. There's a whole strategy behind this. You have to have calls to action. You have to hit up multiple channels. You have to have really good SEO. You have to know the algorithms. You have to use the right hashtags. You have to build an audience around you to help you get traction. So inbound marketing, we could do not just one more video, but like a whole year's worth of videos. Okay. In fact, all of these we can. So all the tactics I'm going to talk to you today about are very important. Hello, Gab. I see someone called LinkedIn user. I don't know why I can't see your name, but hi. Thanks for stopping by. So we're talking today about how to find clients. Does that interest you? I hope so. So I just said my first strategy is inbound marketing, and there's a lot of ins and outs of inbound marketing. But believe me, it's all about the SEO. It's all about understanding the algorithms. It's all about having that consistent media channel. And most importantly, staying on brand. So you can do some personal stuff, but 70% of your content should tell me, if I just went through your post, I should be able to understand that you are an expert in what you do. So even if you tell me in every single post, oh, I am a course creator, a live streamer, but I don't actually see any expertise, after a while, I'm going to be like, I don't know. so that's, content is really a whole very powerful weapon. All right. So the second one I wanted to talk about is social selling. So what is social selling? It basically means that you're going out and making an effort to have conversations with your target audience. And this one is super important because it doesn't actually involve any selling. So when someone hears social selling, I don't want you to get confused with pitching people, right? I want you to think about going out and saying, hey, I serve entrepreneurs, I serve small business owners, or I serve corporate HR, whatever your cup of tea is, and then consciously finding them and starting to chat with them. Now, social selling, I'm going to actually have an expert in social selling on my show in next week. No, the 12th, the September 12th. The days are blending, guys. It's getting bad. But if you guys follow me, you'll see he's coming on my show. His name is Richard Moore, and he's going to tell us all about social selling. All right. But it is an art, just like content creation inbound, right? Social selling is number 2 on my list. Number 3 is networking, good old-fashioned networking like people used to do. And networking, I'm talking about virtual and in-person networking. So that means go into the chat rooms, like the audio rooms on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Clubhouse, and participate. Show up and get on the stage and talk about stuff and help people. Go into groups, networking. Go into Facebook groups if that's relevant to your audience. Oh, there goes my camera. Hello, I'm still here. This is what happens when you have this crappy webcam. Can you guys still see me? Help! Why did you suddenly come loose? My camera's trying to escape. So, you just reach out and you have to learn how to introduce yourself, my friends. So networking is a whole subject as well. In fact, I have a whole video series on my YouTube channel. If you go to KristaMolione.com/YT for YouTube, you can go in there and you'll see all my playlists, and you'll see I have a networking playlist, because I really think that here's what happens a lot of times is people just show up and they just stand in the corner and wait, looking really awkward, or they hang around with the people they know the whole night with their backs turned to everyone else. And I'm like, why did you even come to this event? Why bother? So learning to network the right way is super important, especially learning how to present yourself the right way. Half the time people don't introduce themselves properly, or when they do, they introduce themselves in such a way that I don't even want to get to know you. Now, I want you guys to know that I have the perfect person for networking. And she was on my podcast, and this episode is coming out very soon. Her name is Nikki Rausch, and she's the author of The Selling Staircase. And so if you guys want to learn how to be a networking queen, Nikki actually teaches sales. She has a whole community called the Sales Maven, I think. But when you listen to that podcast, all her info is in there. Her book is phenomenal, and she's phenomenal. She's really, really good at networking with people and getting straight to the point of making it clear what she does and making it an ask, basically. If you're interested in these kind of services or not, she does it in such a smooth way that you would never ever say no. You may not hire her, but you would definitely never be like, ooh, gross, right? You'll always want to answer what she asks you. So conferences, associations, online stuff, get out there, people. That's where you're going to find your target audience. You got to get out there and think, where do they hang out? Now, networking is super important. Okay, number 4, guesting on podcasts and other live streams. remember, it's a small world after all, but your world is even smaller. So you got to put yourself out there. You got to go out of your way to actually show up in other people's world. So one of the best ways to do that is to go guest on other people's shows. And a person will reach out to you because they saw the show. And one of the beautiful things about podcasts and live shows is nowadays everything gets repurposed. So even if they couldn't come to the live event, they will listen to it, and you may get a call even a long time like, "Oh yeah, how did you find me?" "Oh, I found you through so and so's podcast or show." And so it's a gift that will keep paying you back even a long time later, right? Um Juana says, podcast movement is on her radar. Yes, girl, go. And remember, there's just so many. Now, that brings me to the other thing of selling partnerships. So, not only can we guest on each other's shows and then we kind of spread the love and we get more audience for you and for me. So, it's a win win because I'll bring people by promoting that I'm going to be on your show. And then your people who usually love your show will discover me. So, it's a win win, right? But now let's talk about partnerships. So partnerships are so phenomenal. You can do all kinds of collaborations with people. You can agree to promote each other. The sky's the limit with partnerships. I love going live with people, or even why don't you guys do a workshop with somebody else? Have you ever thought about collaborating on a workshop and saying, why don't we do this? So right now, I know Michelle Raymond and Michelle Griffin from LinkedIn, my network on LinkedIn, they are releasing a book that they co-authored that's supposed to come out in November. And it's about LinkedIn and personal branding. And both of these women are phenomenal. If you're not following them, huge shout out to both of my Michelle friends. But there you go. That's a partnership. And two is always better than one, right? So why don't you guys think about ways you can partner with other people? Because then you'll merge your audiences and you'll both be doing marketing. So it just always works out. When we talk about partnerships, I also want to extend that to the next level, which is affiliate. All right. So how can you sell? Well, it's kind of ironic because you can do both ways. You can ask other people to be affiliate for your products, and you can be an affiliate for them. But the irony is it always is a win-win for you. Like you always will get sales yourself. Because when you're reaching out and promoting other people's products, people get curious about who you are. And especially if you become an affiliate for a big brand or a big name. One of my coaches, his name is Graham Cochran, and he's a big YouTuber, although he'll hate me if he hears that word YouTuber. But he has built a lot of his success due to his affiliation with the course platform Kajabi. So what he does is he puts out all kinds of videos on YouTube about Kajabi, where he's teaching you why it's good, what can you do with Kajabi. So it's really like valuable tutorials. And then he's offering at the end of the tutorial to use his affiliate link to get a full month free versus 14-day trial. And he has a bonus that he'll offer you if you go through his link. And he's made I don't know how many millions, but he's a millionaire, okay? And so this is the power of starting with a partner that could turn into an affiliate, all right? I'm an affiliate for Amy Porterfield. So the other day I sent out an email about Amy's boot camp, and I don't go really heavy like some of the affiliates. You guys have no idea. I'm in the affiliate group. There's some major psychos in there in a good way. They're like obsessed with like getting as many sales for Amy, which is good. I should be more obsessed. But I definitely want you guys to know that all these partnerships lead to amazing things. All right. Partnerships, affiliate, collaborations. And that's also part of the reason for sales that I'm starting this fall. I'm starting 2 masterminds and 1 academy. And I say there are 3 clubs in one, but the 2 masterminds, it's really a focus on just community, because I want people to collaborate. I want people to support one another. So even one of them, I call it an accountability pod. And I know there's a lot of negativity around this word, but the word pod is not bad in itself. It's just we're really helping each other by keeping ourselves accountable, on track for our goals, stuff like that. That's a mastermind pod, right? But think about it. All of these things could lead to it starts with networking, it turns into collaboration, then it turns all the way to some kind of a joint launch, joint products, or even affiliate stuff, right? Public speaking. So public speaking is an amazing thing. Where can you find clients? Do you know how many people that I've hired from listening to them at a talk? And when I say public speaking, I'm not even talking just about going to, a live event. This could be something online as well. Like if you get invited to speak, you could pre-record a TED Talk even and put it online. So there's so many ways to do public speaking nowadays. And this basically means that new audiences will discover you. And because your public speaking will talk about the expertise that you specialize in, people will be really interested in who you are. And so you can really do an amazing boost in your sales, right? So another thing is a book. So if you haven't considered writing a book, now's the time. It has never been easier to publish a book. Before you freak out on me, trust me on this. You can so easily write a book. There are right now, my girl Gabby Bernstein, she's launching, I think she's getting ready to close the cart though. So you better hurry if you're interested. She's doing her annual book course program. So Gabby Bernstein, if you don't know who she is a life coach, spiritual coach, and she has written like 7 books, and I think almost all of them have hit the bestseller list. She knows what she's doing, and she's teaching now book writing. Like she has a course for it, but she's not alone. There's so many amazing people right now who can teach you how to write a book. And so guys, 2023 is the year. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. That's part of the reason of what I want to do in my masterminds, by the way, is I want everyone to identify a big goal. Like, why don't you get on stage next year? Why don't you get that book written? And why don't you launch that podcast finally? Why don't you approach this big wig person who you're terrified of and invite them to be a guest on your show? And these are all examples of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone that will increase your sales. Hello, people. This is why we're doing this, right? So instead of like thinking, oh, I have to like, I call it chasing white rabbits. Like, where are those clients? Let me get my rifle and I'm going to like find them hiding in the bushes, right? No, get on a stage and get visibility and the clients will pour in, right? But let's keep going. I got all night. You guys bored yet? Yes, I see some interesting chat going on with Juana and DJ, and I totally think that oh my god, my camera is killing me today. I totally think that you guys, you have it in you. You have it in you to do all these things. But you know what? You know what you need? You need some accountability. And when I say accountability, today somebody posted on LinkedIn about holding themselves accountable for end of year goals. I don't believe it, because I believe you have to have someone who has your back. And I prefer it be a group instead of just one person. I prefer to be in a group of all the people who have different goals. Oh my goodness, Ivy missed making her appearances. Ivy, come here, say hi. Ivy, you're supposed to be asleep. You have school now. No more partying.
Too much good.
Yeah, I know. Today's your first day of kindergarten. You have to go to bed. I'm sorry, am I making too much noise? Am I too loud?
Today Susan let me just take my pencils away.
Yeah, I know they took your colored pencils. Oh my goodness, it's tough. It's tough. We'll get some new ones.
You buy that.
You go wash your mouth. It's dirty.
You buy that for me.
I know, sweetheart. Sorry, guys. Mom time. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is PR. All right. Where's my book? Ivy, can you get that book that you wanted to give to Ambre? Is it over there? Look, it's over there, right? Can you get it for me? Remember the one you wanted to wrap in the present for Ambre? It's right there. Here, I point. I have this book I wanted to show you guys. Right up there. Yeah, right up there. Put your hand up. Yeah, no, right there. Go. No, look at mommy. I'm pointing at that book. Right there, up there. Okay, I don't think she's going to get it for me. But you remember the book with the lady on the cover? Careful. Right there. Right there. No, on the other side. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, get it for me. We're going to show it to the people. Yes, perfect. Ivy's going to get the PR book. So guys, you got to get creative with sales, all right? Sales is not, like I said, hunting down the right rabbits. Instead, sales is a bunch of amazing things that you do to get attention. Okay, this is called PR for Everyone, Christina Davies. This book, it cost $14.95, and you might be able to get it cheaper on Kindle. I want you guys to know that this is amazing book, and in here she has so many ideas about how to get yourself written up in publications, how to get yourself more visible, because visibility is a massive point of your sales, right? So when you say where to find clients, well, why don't you just get published in a big publication, and then you'll answer your own question, where are the clients, right? They're going to come to you. So there's a few more. So paid traffic. You know, a lot of people I know who've made it to 7-8 figures have done it all through paid, either all or partially through paid. There's nothing wrong with paid, right? No, that's too much. The only thing I would suggest, though, is that you hire somebody to help you, because if you're going to do paid advertising, it can be like a black hole, and you really don't want to end up spending your money on nothing. And so I highly suggest that you find a qualified Facebook ads person. I have some referrals if you need, and because that can really boost your sales. So for me, paid ads is definitely on my list for getting sales. All right. If it's done the right way. The other one is cold outreach, obviously, right? So cold outreach means that you're actually messaging people and asking them for the sale. Now, I really don't like cold outreach, but I want you to know something, is that I actually made money with cold outreach. And how I did it was, I think it's not about the what, but the how. I think that most people don't know how to do cold outreach. And that's why it's annoying, it's spammy, it's just very, very fake, right? You do it on you. Look.
No.
Okay, Ivy, but I'm on my, okay. A little. Okay. And cold outreach can be very powerful. So one of the ways you could do cold outreach is you can do your research about the companies who may need your services. And a few resources for you are LinkedIn Sales Navigator. definitely amazing tool for doing research on your companies. And there are other paid tools online that you can use to do your research. This is super important. I want to see if this one, I'm going to copy and paste this one for you. Hold on. This is another tool right here. This is a tool I like as well for client research. It's called SparkToro.
Mom, you take
And this is an audience research tool.
I can't hear friend.
No, attends, j'ai presque fini. So that's another amazing thing that you can do. So you research them, and then you end up messaging them. But here's what I do is, it's an art. It's a real art. So if you're going to do cold outreach to people, again, you have to know what you're doing. And I would say that 99% of people do it wrong. So there's 1% of people who know what they're doing, and they do it really, really well. And those people are highly paid, and they don't really advertise to you because they're good at what they do, right? But you can get creative about where you do your research. Crunchbase, Juana says, that could be one. Another thing that I will give you a tip.
I got big hair. It's you got big hair.
Is join an association where you know that the companies belong to. There's always going to be associations where these companies are active, and then you'll have access to the whole directory of companies. You're not allowed to spam them. You can get thrown out, but I've done it in such a way that I've never been thrown out. So I've literally messaged all the people that I wanted to inside these associations, and I got meetings. So to do cold outreach means you know how to get meetings, because that's the whole point. The point isn't how are you, how's business, can I ask you a question, I'm testing my product, would you like to be a beta tester? I'm like, this is all so overused. You have to know how to reach out to companies to get the meeting. All right. And DJ says that Krista's so experienced, she knows what I need and working on before I know what I need and working on. Well, I've been doing this a long time, and because I've been doing this so long, I can tell you it's a war out there, right? So we all need to find our clients, and it's not easy. There's another thing that I would recommend, and that is going into forums. So if you're new and you are looking for clients, these are the places that I would go. I would go to Reddit, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook groups. And I would look for people with the title. I would look at the names of the groups to figure out who will be in those groups, what types of people, making sure those are relevant to my audience, making sure it's somehow related to my audience, right? And these are excellent ways of finding potential clients, especially if you can show up and do two things in those forums. Number one, be like a student and study the questions that people are asking really well, right? Just listen to everything that they're saying, they're doing in those groups, and take notes. Like, you can literally create a swipe file of ideas of, these are the questions that they're saying, these are the struggles, the concerns, the things they say they are looking for. And take notes, because you can produce content to help them. And the content could be anything from a simple, bless you, a simple article. Oh, Ivy, are you okay? Do you need a towel?
I'm sick.
Don't be sick. All the way to a full-blown course, right?
Mom, is you.
Yeah, why aren't you sleeping, Ivy? You're supposed to be asleep.
You're a little colorful.
That's right.
And you got that color on. And
that's sweet, honey. This is how I do my sales lives, guys. So, but there are so many ways to find new clients that it's too much to just do in 30 minutes. But I wanted to give you guys some ideas to inspire you where you should start, because your clients are everywhere. Now, I promised you in the end I would tell you my favorite. So my absolute favorite of all the ones that I talked to you about today is the first one, is inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is free, it's long term, and it can turn your business into a passive income machine. Unlike the other ones, all the other ones that I talked about today require a lot more time, a lot more effort, and sometimes money, right? Whereas inbound marketing require none of those things. The time portion is limited because I have a system that I teach of batch producing your content. So I don't spend a lot of time producing content. It's very like when you look at my whole week, right? So I produce it consistently, but I don't spend all my days posting, writing posts, coming up with content. And so even if you like producing content, you definitely want to have a system, and the system has to drive sales. So if you're posting, and you're not getting sales, then you're doing something wrong, right? So I teach inbound marketing as a sales tool. And the program that I have for it is called From Follower to Leader, which is a marketing mastermind for entrepreneurs who want to learn how to use their marketing to drive sales, right? So if you're interested in any of these things, you guys know where to find me. And all my info is always going to be in the show notes. So you can find out about my programs and consider joining one of my masterminds or even the academy, because entrepreneurship is really hard and finding clients is really hard. And you can struggle for years or you can make 7 figures and be done with it, guys. It's up to you. You have to choose. It's either time or money. All right. So you have to think, what is 1 year of my life? What is 10 years of my life? And, I don't want to put any timestamps on you because you never know. But I can tell you that I work with entrepreneurs who have been entrepreneurs for several years and are still struggling. They can't pay their bills. They have to have a spouse pay their bills, or they have to do some kind of job because they just don't know how to sell. They don't know how to find clients. And so, this is something that if you're interested in this,
You take me in the bed?
I'm coming out. We're going to hang up. If you're interested in this, you belong in my programs, because all my programs are designed to make money. There's not a single program I run that isn't leading you back closer towards making money. Because ultimately, if you're not making money, you don't have a business. It's a hobby. You can call yourself a CEO, right? But if you can't pay your bills, then that's not a business. And I personally, as you guys can see, I have a little girl, and I have to think about, would I rather spend years and years struggling, or would I rather make money so that I can give her a good life and be on my way? So I do think it depends on your why. You have to have a strong why. Making money, there's nothing evil about it or slimy about it. All you're doing is providing value to other people to solve a problem that they need somebody to solve. And the more money you make, the more you're doing it at scale, right? And as you guys know, one-on-one services is not scalable. You can only serve a couple of one-on-one clients, and that also will imply taking away from your valuable private time. The more clients you try to serve, the less time you'll have for your kids, for your hobbies, for your private stuff. So that's why I teach a system in my academy that is a multi revenue stream system. So I teach you how to build different types of income streams. In fact, right before this live, I was just writing out what's going to be in my bonuses for people who join my academy. And anybody who joins one of my programs on a year commitment, before September 15th, even if it's a monthly pay, but they commit to the full year, those are my go-getter people. Those are my action takers. Those are the people I know are not planning on finishing 2023 broke. I know that those people are like, I want to come in your program and I want to come out the other side with a solid six-figure business, right? $100,000 per year is nice, but I think $200,000 would be even nicer. That's $16K a month, $16,000 a month. And all that money that you make, where is that going to go? You know, I've chosen not to spend my money on a Lamborghini or partying or a mansion because I believe in investing the money, investing for the future, you know. And so it's all up to how you spend the money. But the more money you make doesn't mean the more money you spend. You can take that money and do something good with it. You know, you can help your community. You can help your elderly parents if you have that. You can help maybe a sister or brother who isn't doing that well and who needs something. You know, money is such an amazing chance, not just to buy yourself a Lamborghini and be like, oh, I'm so rich now, but to help the world. All right. And that may sound cheesy right now, but think about it. All the people right now who you love and care about, wouldn't you like to be able to have that freedom to do something really nice for them right now? And just be like, you know what? I just bought you a house because I know you have a problem with this house or housing, or your house is a crap, or your car is crappy. I just bought you a new car. That's what money can do for your loved ones. So I'm not messing around. And I hope you're not messing around either. When we're talking about finding clients, the road leads to one place, and the one place is called wealth, right? I'm not saying go out and get some more freelancing gigs and keep hustling and you'll always be in this hamster wheel. I'm talking about finding clients on a large scale. And that's why I gave you more options today. You know, these things don't sound extraordinary, but they can provoke extraordinary things. So all the different things I mentioned today, it's all about how you apply them. It's not about the thing in itself, right? It's about having a strategy behind it so that there are calls to action and that people know where to find you. They show up on your page. It's not confusing because you can do all these things. You can try to write a book, do public speaking, do guest podcasting, do all these things. But if people come back to your profile and there's nothing for them to buy, there's no pop-up telling them, hey, do you want to take my quiz? Do you want to download this thing? You know, you're going to miss that traffic. So what I want you to know is sales is a bigger system than you think. And before you think about finding new clients, can I just end this by saying, please take care of your existing clients, because you should be thinking every single person who paid even a small thing to me. I'm talking, when I say existing clients, someone gave you money at some point, they're a client, right? Why do you like run out and try to find new ones? We need to really work on taking care of people, all right? Because those people can really become brand ambassadors for you. And so when we talk about how can you find clients, well, I can tell you one of the very, very best sales tactics is to have someone who loves your product or service and raves about you publicly. And that's worth more than any of the other tactics I just told you about. So I wanted to end that by saying, take good care of your clients, because you should be aiming to turn them into raving fans, and at least do your best, right? We can't be perfect. We're not mind readers. There's picky people. There's difficult people, but please just do your best. And then with a good heart, you can say, you know what? I know I did right by that client. And I never tried to screw anyone over. I've always tried to over deliver and delight my clients. And I just love my clients. If you don't love your clients, change your clients, because believe me, it's personal. It is personal. And when I think what sets us apart, today I was looking for one of my clients, I was looking through a bunch of titles because we're trying to kind of think up a way of branding her in a little bit new way. And I was like, wow, she's right. A lot of these services, they really do sound the same. And so what sets you apart? What makes people want to hire you and not someone else, So when we talk about where to find clients, you also have to think about how to get them to say yes. And they'll say yes because you've got a strategy. You've taken the time to find your unique value proposition. You know your secret sauce. You really know what you're doing. All right. If that's not the case, then don't be surprised that people are coming, looking, and leaving. Either they're confused, they're not inspired, you haven't said anything new that they haven't heard before, or something's off. There's no call to action. They can't take action, right? So those are just some things to think about for your sales. And lastly, I want to let everyone know that I do have a course that is available to everyone, even people who don't join the academy. And this course, if you haven't taken it yet, is well worth it. It's called kristamilleon.com/more clients. And I'll put that in the show notes in case someone's interested, even on the replay. There I go into a lot more detail about sales stuff. All right, guys, it's been great hanging out with you, but even good things have to come to an end. If you're an entrepreneur growing a business, please consider subscribing to this channel. I go live every week, usually once with a guest and then once solo, to talk about business stuff to help you get further along in your business. And I really appreciate you guys coming. And even those on the replay, I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time. And last thing is, if you have any topics you want me to talk about, any questions that are burning questions, all my videos are based on real questions that people have asked me. All right. You can submit these questions to me. You can send me a DM on socials and say, I've got this question, and I may just do a video about it, or you can send it here. So kristamilleon.com/ask. There's a little form that says what's your issue, put it in there. It's all confidential, and I'll read it and I'll try to help. All right? All right, guys, have a good one and go out there and get some clients. Take care. Bye.